Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of Convos with Jewels, Paige. Today we are talking about breaking the myth of perfect parenting, and I have a guest with me, so stay tuned to find out more. We are here with a good friend of mine, and she's here to talk with us. But first, I want to introduce her. I want to read this bio that she gave me. I'm going to put on my professional voice. Khadijah Fair stands out as a pivotal leader in Cleveland's nonprofit sector, dedicated to fostering a higher quality of life for all. Her journey from Glenville High School to Notre Dame College has equipped her with a profound understanding of the challenges and opportunities within urban communities. As a mother, Khadijah is deeply committed to nurturing a passion for knowledge in her son, highlighting the importance of reading, arts, and technology. Literary endeavors, including Khalil and the Color Block Bandit, and its sequel, Khalil vs. Kindergarten Chaos, reflect her dedication to fostering literacy and igniting the imagination of young readers. Beyond her role as a mom and author, Khadijah's leadership in the nonprofit realm and her active participation on various boards and committees amplify her influence in shaping policies and initiatives for educational and social development. Through her advocacy and leadership, she demonstrates a steadfast commitment to improving education and the overall quality of life for the children of Cleveland, embodying the essence of dedicated community engagement, equity, and service. So you know in school where they be like, okay, now paraphrase what you just read.
Khadijah got a kid, right? And she worked in the nonprofit sector, and she also wrote 2 books. And you know that's kind of what she do. That's what she does. That's what she do. That's who she is.
Khadijah love the kids. That's what that is. I love that for you. Can we see your sweater? Can we get a good look at that? Khalil. That's my son, y'all. But when you see him, and when I see him and I say, hey son, he be like, you're not my mom.
But what else he say after that?
But I know you just playing.
My son is very literal.
He is, and you know what? I'm very sarcastic, so it's kind of like
putting y'all together is hilarious.
Son. I don't know, I play too much, so he gonna be sick of me. Like once he actually get a little older, he's still young, but once he get older, he gonna be like, I'm sick of her, Mom. Why you bring this old lady that play too much?
I don't think so. I don't think
he gonna be sick of me?
No, because I think he gonna laugh at all his jokes. Khalil think he is a stand-up comedian. He wakes up and think about random things. We're like, yeah, because do you remember what? And it'd be something completely I've never heard of. And I'm like, yes, oh my God. And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, you woke up that way.
You just thought about that all night. And
he's dying laughing. I'm thinking something else happened. I'm thinking, oh, because I was tickling you or whatever. I'm like, wake up. And he's like, nah. I was thinking about this YouTube thing that I was watching yesterday. And I was like, oh, okay. But I don't want to hurt your feelings.
It's too late. It's, you know, one thing kids do not care about hurting somebody's feelings. But it's not, I don't think that's the intention. They just,
no, it's not, no.
So honest.
Absolutely. And once they realize like the social norms, and that's why children often say like, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, or I don't want to hurt your feelings, and then tell you something that would hurt your feelings.
Don't make me cry. I'm gonna cry in the car.
Because they have already acknowledged and told you that they are not trying to hurt your feelings. So you, as an adult, have to understand that what they say next is because it is true, or at least to their understanding, and they wanted to acknowledge it out loud and make sure that you heard and that you heard them. And I just be like, okay, but he be like, you know, I know it's not a baby in there, but I don't want to hurt your feelings. And then he proceeds to rub my belly and be like, but it's so fat.
But you know what? I think that kind of speaks to his trust and feeling safe to say what's on his mind. Because, you know, sometimes we keep it real cute with some people that we don't know too well and how they going to react and how they going to take it.
Yeah. I think us as adults, we get it wrong all the time. But I think that comes with social norms and the pressure that is put on us as children. And it's important for me as a parent to make sure that Khalil is comfortable. I know that I get it wrong all the time, but we have our understanding. You know, what we talk about, we have understanding with what we talk about at home, what we talk about in the car, what we talk about in public. So he's like, hey, you know, can I talk to you in private? Most of the time I'll just be like, bruh.
It ain't even that deep. It ain't
It's
even
like,
that
I thought it was a bit, like he pronounces, you know how smart my baby is. He's adorable. He pronounces bra wrong every single time because he's like, oh, it's a private area, you know, it's you know, what women put on there. He says breast wrong too, and I'm just like, that is so adorable because you're so innocent. He's like, can I talk to you in private? I don't even know how he usually says bra or breast, but he was like, I saw like a bra or something, and he just wanted me to know that he saw it, and I'm just like, you just wanted to say that, but
you just want to say that bad word. You just want to say that bad word. And speaking of like bad words, I just really want to talk about, because you brought up what he watches YouTube and he sees things on YouTube. And YouTube has the power, and the people on YouTube have this power and influence to like have our children and us thinking a certain way, behaving a certain way.
That's media for sure.
Yeah. Oh, media. I feel like it should be used for entertainment, but a lot of times we take it and we kind of internalize a lot of the things that people say and the things that people do, and it goes from being, oh, this is entertaining, to why am I not like that? Why can't I
start comparing
do
yourself.
that? And I think that, you know, when the kids see stuff like that, it's different from when we do it a little bit, because we don't expect them to know better.
Yeah.
Versus us as adults, it's like,
yeah, YouTube is definitely a thing for me. I don't like YouTube for kids. I just don't. I don't even know like how their algorithm is set up. He'll be watching one thing and then it's, what is this? Right now, the algorithm right now is a whole bunch of like cute animal videos that he is often sharing with my mother, especially if it's a dog. But then it will be something completely like not appropriate for kids. So we don't have the app downloaded on his tablet, but that doesn't hinder him from actually going to YouTube and watching YouTube. I do like that Khalil is still very much a kid, so he doesn't seek out inappropriate content. But like you said, the influence. So some of the things that they say, and then you have to think about what you grew up watching. So yeah. So you have to be like, okay. So I remember I was this age and I was watching Adult Swim.
Mhm.
I heavily watched Adult Swim. I did not think that any of it was real. I knew what was appropriate, what wasn't appropriate. Most of it was entertaining, but I just was a kid being a kid, and I enjoyed watching some of these things that probably was a little bit more not age appropriate. However, I'm not gonna say I was more mature for my age, but I just knew right from wrong, and I expect my son to know right from wrong when he sees it, because we talk about it often. And then you're talking about him being able to open up. You didn't say that, but it was something in the realm of
he felt it was a safe space.
A safe space.
Say whatever, even though it might come off offensive. He know that you're gonna allow him that freedom to talk and say.
Exactly. Oh, but you will get checked for sure. But we try to do that just between us, and it's definitely a thing. But allowing him to express himself, so that I am a safe space. So when something is happening, when he's older or when he's younger, he is comfortable expressing that to me. I have a hard time with adults who are often with children in educator roles, role model roles, and they expect children to just fall in line. And it's like, we all learn, we are all very different. And I think in this society, we are starting to talk about more how, everyone do not learn the same way, and that it is more acceptable. But it is still a lot for an educator to be like, oh, I have to cater to this kid and this kid. They should be teaching that in school, or when they do internships or fellowships or all of that. It's important because every kid honestly should have a 504 plan, because everybody learn different. Everybody do things different. A 504 plan is not bad. It's literally like, these are the accommodations that a student needs to be able to excel in academics. Like, this is okay. I just need a little bit more time reading. I just need a little bit more time doing this math equation, because I do 3 more steps than everybody else, but I have to, because that's how my brain processes things. Or I need a break every so often, or once a day, because I'm just overstimulated. It's important. I'm not saying that kids should just do whatever. No, I'm saying that everybody is. That's why the adults get it wrong often, because we didn't have that. We didn't have that safe space. We didn't have that time to be like, no one was saying, oh, I recognize that you don't learn this way. I recognize that you do things, a certain way, and maybe I should actually pay attention, so that I can be like, oh, okay, so instead of yelling at you or being like, oh, I expect you to know this, it's, okay, I get it. I need to dial it back a little bit.
Find a different approach.
And cater to that. Maybe we wouldn't be last in the world,
in this country. I know that when I was in school, I like to do things alone. Like, I work best by myself. I don't know why they force groups on us.
I did not like groups, but for a different reason.
Yeah. Because niggas be slow.
I didn't, because I didn't want to be honest, I didn't want to be judged. I struggled with reading. I struggled. I worked really hard to be an average student. When I say that, I don't mean that I strive to be an average student. No, I worked really hard to just be an average student in the eyes of academia. And it was hard. So I would rather do it independently than feel like everybody was like, oh, you don't know that word, or oh, you still ain't past this part, or I would rather just do it by myself. That's probably why I do a lot of things independently now as an adult, because a lot of adults got it wrong for me.
Okay, let me clarify. When I say niggas be slow, I mean the ones that come in late, the ones that not paying attention during the whole class, and now they're like, what we supposed to do? I don't want to work with them. I don't want to. Oh my God, so many people that popped in my head as soon as I said that. I'm not going to say no names. But I just did not like, but I absolutely do not. But I know faces. So I know them when I see them and be like, side eye. So since you brought that up about you in school, do you think that your experience with school or not reflects, but plays a role in how you raise our son?
Absolutely, it does. It's a huge factor, but it's not something that I think about like every day. Like when he's in school, I'm like, oh, my own experience. No, I'm actually really only thinking about his experience. I've already lived through my experiences, and it's a different day and age. I am far removed from K-8, but yeah, I think it definitely, it naturally plays a role because I don't want him to experience the same thing, the same barriers that I experienced. Of course, he's going to have his own barriers and trials and tribulations, and he's going to have to persevere in certain areas. But I will be there every step of the way, and we're going to work hard because all I did was work hard. A lot of stuff, and it's so crazy because Khalil is the complete opposite when it comes to being a student than I was, because a lot of things just come so easy to him. So when anything is a challenge, he's like, oh, I give up. Anything that's a challenge is like, oh, I give up. And I was like, Khalil, because he talks about IQ often. He's like, yeah, when he's watching like cartoons and he's like, yeah, so I was reading stuff on Google and it said that this cartoon character's IQ was -5. This is a real conversation. And it was like, and that's why he acts the way he acts. And I was like, okay. But I was like, Khalil often, talks about how he knows a lot of things, and the only person, not the only person, but God is the only one who knows all. God is the only one who knows all. And he's like, I want to be close to that. And I was like, well, you got to learn basic math then. Yeah. We have to work hard with basic math. If you want to be close to that, if you want to be close to Einstein too, and Garrett Morgan, and you want to invent stuff, if you want to be a cartoonist, if you want to have your own animation studio, you still have to know math. You still have to know the basic sciences. You still have to know, how to. He's really good at reading literature, nonsense words, and putting words back together. It's literally the complete opposite when it comes to reading and writing. He's like, I got it. He just chooses to, he's like, I don't want to do that, except for reading. Reading, absolutely, he's going to read all day, every day. And I love that about my baby. But yes, long story short.
So you said when he comes to something that's hard, he kind of like, I don't want to do it. So do you think that, because that takes resiliency to see something and be like, okay, I didn't get it right the first time, I'm gonna try again, I'm gonna do it differently. Do you think that since you see that in him and knowing what you went through and how school was for you, that you're like, no, you're gonna get it. We're gonna sit here for 12 hours until you, do you think that's the thing?
I won't say 12 hours, but we're
11.5.
11.25. So I will say that we're gonna sit here and let's compromise. Let's compromise. If we can work through these 2-3 problems, and you do the rest on this page, which is probably like 2 or 3 more, then we're done. We're done for today. We don't need to overstimulate. We don't need to, continue, because we can still do it tomorrow. And let's say I was pounding it in you the day before, and then you still have the same trouble the next day, rather than, okay, you understand that you have the basics. It's something that you're not retaining. As of right now, I'm trying to figure out how to help you retain that information, because it'll take like maybe 1 or 2 problems to be like, oh, I got it, I remember. But then it's the same thing over and over again. So it's like, okay, you know, how do we approach this differently? So just learn in different ways. I mean, I literally learn way more. I probably learned way more with Khalil in his preschool to 2nd grade life than I've learned from preschool to 8th grade.
Yeah.
Literally. So just helping him, you know, through different things. So, and I definitely appreciate him for it. I'm smarter, I'm better, because he's smart and he's better. But yeah.
Okay. So, one thing that I really want to talk about is the experience of burnout and just being tired, overwhelmed, can't do nothing else. I'm done. Like, I get in the house, everything's coming off. Don't ask me for nothing. Don't tell me you need nothing. You better get some water. The human body can survive for 2 weeks without food. Or is it 30 days? 2 weeks. Okay. You can go 2 weeks without food before your body start acting crazy. Don't ask me for nothing. Figure it out. You ever feel like that?
I would say burnout for sure. As a parent, as a professional who wants to grow my career as an ambitious individual, burnout is real, especially being ambitious. I do always put my domestic duties first, you know? So it's almost routine, although it may look different every day. But go to work, get Khalil situated, get him all the way together, and then I figure out, you know, what it is. Then I sit there and I turn the TV on, and it stares at me, and occasionally I'll stare at it. And then I have all these ideas. Burnout for me, I don't know how it is for anyone else, but it's when I lack ideas, or I lack how to move forward with a particular idea that really gets me in my feelings. Because again, I am a very ambitious person, and I've always been task oriented, but my goals, my tasks are so big that there are my goals are big, but there are tasks that I have to complete to get to that goal. And when I feel like I've hit the goal and I don't know the next goal, that's when I feel stagnant and I feel burnt out, and I feel like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing? Why am I here? And a big part of that is, you know, purpose. And you get your purpose from God, and it's not what you think your purpose is. It's really what your purpose is here on earth, because it comes from God. As a parent, I always make sure that he's situated first. But yeah, it definitely gets you in a mood.
I read something just real quick on purpose, because I don't want to go too far off with, you know, what we're talking about burnout, but because I believe that too. I believe that God sends us here. We got something we're supposed to do. We got to be obedient, and we'll live out that purpose. But I saw something that made me kind of think about like a different perspective on that, and it said something like, we have multiple purposes, and we have different things that we do in different phases of our life, and sometimes that purpose might change or look different, and that's okay. I don't think that was like.
You paraphrased.
Yeah, I definitely paraphrased, but that's what I took out of it, and I was like, okay. When I think of it that way, it takes a lot of pressure off of me. Maybe, I mean, that could be like a guilty thing, and I'm like, okay, I needed to see that, so to ease my conscience, I don't know. But I mean, it made sense for me to think that, like, in one instance, parenting is my purpose. I'm here doing it, so you know, I ain't asked for this. The life chose me. But also, you know, I care about people. I'm passionate about children's education. I'm passionate about children's well-being. I'm passionate about self-care and treating people the way I want to be treated. And so I feel like one of my purposes is to take care of my children, but then another purpose is also take care of other people's children too. That's why I call Khalil my son, because I feel like that, like my purpose is to be a mama. And not like, even if I didn't have kids, because before I had my kids, I felt like a strong connection to other people's kids. Like I was working in a school and I would be like, hey, I mean, you know, I was real young. So, I mean, I'm still real young. But, you know, I feel like I have that connection and I care and I value children like they're my own. So.
And that's great. My experience was the opposite.
You don't want my kids?
Oh, they're absolutely my kids for sure. But
take your child
I just knew I wasn't having kids for a long time. If I was gonna have kids, I wouldn't be my current age with a child. I was gonna be what the kids call it, the rich auntie.
The rich auntie.
The rich auntie. I was like, as long as I, you know, give them back. As long as I can give them back, you know. And you know, I was like, oh, you know, I can play with them, you know. I was gonna say something, I don't want to say it. Not that I was gonna.
I love them kids, but it's still fuck them kids.
Listen, these little humans be little humaning and they just do whatever. I think often with burnout you feel guilt as a parent because you feel like you can't feel burnt out. You're not allowed to because you still have to.
How dare you be tired and you made these children?
How
dare you need a moment to yourself?
Exactly.
Yeah. And
you still have so much to do. You have so much to accomplish. You have so much to get done to make sure that these little humans are, you know, they're well-rounded and contributing to society the best way possible, in the most positive way possible. Parenthood is definitely a journey. I would never say that there is a book to tell you how to be a parent. There is not a one-size-fits-all approach to parenting and raising children. I remember I saw this comment and I thought this was so interesting. I forget what the post was because the comment took it all, and it said something like, let me paraphrase. It said something like, we don't want to talk about the conversation of parents getting divorced or not staying together because of parenting styles. I don't remember exactly what the post was, but it was about how these parents got divorced and then their children were adults and then they decided to remarry. And the comment was talking about it was probably the parenting style. They didn't even know it was the parenting style that really was, you know, that was clashing. And now they're back together, now their kids are adults. And I thought that was interesting because you do see a lot of people separate when they have children. I really admire my sister and her husband. Shout out to Jazz and D. They grew through it, they grow through it, and they are learning each other more. I can't think of another couple that is as amazing as them.
And doing the work.
And then like how they work together to parent their kids. Because you see a lot of breakups, especially when the children are very, very young. And it could be because one or the other is experiencing burnout, or both. And they don't know how to communicate with one another.
Yeah.
Or God forbid, they haven't even gotten to when the baby arrived.
Yeah. I know my experience with that, when I got pregnant with my son, I had decided to go back to school, and I was working, and after my son got here, maternity leave is a joke. They don't give you enough time, and if you have the time, they don't give you enough money. And so for me, it was like when I ran out of my time, I had to get back to work. And then I was breastfeeding. So now I'm coming home from work. Like, yes, I will pump, but pumping and the actual breast is just not the same for a baby. They don't care about none of that. So, after a while, like after coming home from work, and then cooking, and then feeding the baby, I'm tired. I don't want you to look at me. I don't want you to touch me, which is what we needed. But no, I am overstimulated. I'm burnt out. I don't have nothing to give you. Good night. That's it.
And
that's all, folks. Because I gave so much to our child. And then I think after a while, once I'm in my head, like, okay, I gotta do this when I get home, I didn't even make time to study after that because I'm just so tired and worn out from working all day.
That's parent guilt. That's not just right after you have the baby. That's always, because you're always feeling that way. You gotta make sure that this little human is safe and fed and nurtured and all of the things, and then you still have to come back and talk about self-care with yourself, and then also you have a spouse and try to communicate. And I can't really talk to this subject, but I know that communication is key and understanding. I know that when women have children, we lose something, but we also gain something we've never had before. And we have to learn what that is. You don't automatically just be like, okay, I lost something, don't know what it was. I gained something outside of motherhood, because you've never been there before with your first child. You've never been to motherhood. You've never known this before.
Yeah, motherhood is the hood.
It's the real hood.
The ghetto.
Gang.
Ain't no way out. Welcome to Death Row.
And I wouldn't change it for the world, honestly. Like, I can't even remember my life before I had a kid, which is so crazy, because if you spoke to me before I had a kid, they'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about, because I'm not about to have
not the same person. Who is that?
It's not the same person. Honestly, I think it made me soft, and I'm salty about that. I am.
Not the girl from The View. Look at how she is now with this child. She's soft.
I used to coach cheerleading, and I was like, yeah, we about to do this, we doing this. Like, no, I'm hard on my girls, and they respected that. Their parents did too. And then I had Khalil. I was like, oh, that situation crazy. All right, y'all coming to practice tomorrow or not?
No, y'all had your choice. My sister make a joke all the time. Actually, so it started off as my sister, and now it's like my brother. They do this thing where they're like, oh, Jewels, she's soft. She a pushover. Blink if you need our help. Blink once for yes and two for no. And then I think I had like a scratch or something like on my face or something, and my sister like, Which one of them did it to you? They beat you up over there and it's like...
It's the girl, for sure.
No, you know what? She not physically violent. She is emotionally... She know how to get me. And I'll be like, she don't just do it sweet.
Yeah, the heart is broken.
So now I gotta play like, I don't care. I don't care. You broke my heart. Then I'm gonna go cry in the car. I'm gonna go cry in the car.
Not you let a toddler take you out.
Yeah.
Always.
That's fun. That's fun being humbled by kids.
Yeah.
It's a very humbling experience. So, as far as self-care goes and how to pull yourself out of that burnt out feeling experience and just, first of all, this is two parts. One, how do you know, well, I guess you just told me, you know how you burnt out when you just your ideas. But the second question is, what do you do after that to get back to you?
To be honest, I haven't experienced, I would say it's an ongoing journey. Because I don't think I've gotten out of it. This is new territory for me. And I am still learning. The only self-care right now I have is therapy, and I thoroughly enjoy it.
Sometimes that's all you need. And Jesus.
Oh, absolutely.
Janelle be like, I love Jesus.
Yeah, definitely have God on my side for sure. But I'm still trying to work out what self-care looks like for me outside of just going to therapy. It's definitely something that I'm working on. What about you? What do you do for self-care?
Man, let me tell you something.
Period.
Let me tell you something. No, just kidding. That's not healthy. I do that too while I'm in therapy. Therapy is my thing. I am very expressive, but I'm also an introvert. So it's like, look at me, but don't look while I'm looking. Look, you know. So self-care is, I do my therapy, I write, I journal. I was working out. That kind of fell off, but I did notice that when I got up and worked out, even if it was like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, I felt better. I felt really good, and it wasn't just because, oh, I worked out and my body gonna thank me later, but it just made me feel better to say I was gonna do something and actually do it. Just that being consistent and having my mindset on something and doing it, that makes me feel good. And I've even talked about like starting my podcast and starting this whole project. It's like, it's kind of like my self-care, because it's challenging me, but also it's calming me a little bit, because I'm so anxious about gotta do this, gotta do that, the mother responsibilities, gotta take care of the kids, gotta go to work to take care of myself and buy food that's expensive and nobody can afford it.
Oh my God, yes.
This podcast is kind of like my escape from all of that, because while I'm here, I can talk about things that matter to me outside of what society says I need to worry about and what I need to care about. So I guess, yeah.
I love that.
I love it here, and it's a vibe.
Clearly, it's definitely a vibe. I have enjoyed this conversation, and
thank you for coming.
Absolutely, anytime. It actually, I'm probably leaving here with like action items, like, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta think about that. So, yeah.
Gotta get it together.
Gotta get it together. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. I appreciate you having me here and thinking of me.
I love you. You know what? I think about my friends and my family. I think a lot more in like y'all's well-being before myself. Like, well, maybe not before myself because, you know, but it's like right next, like it's right there. Like if it's me, then it's like the people that I love, because I feel like when the people that I love and care about are doing well and in a positive spirit or whatever, then I feel better. So I'm gonna always do whatever I can to like uplift my family, my friends, people that I care about, things that I care about.
I'm over here trying to take Cleveland off a rock and just lift it up.
Yeah. Cleveland rocks.
Cleveland rocks.
Yeah. Oh. Cleveland rocks. Like Drew Carey. He literally sang it. Do you know Drew Carey?
Edit that out.
Oh. You don't know Drew Carey, the guy with the glasses? He hosts The Price is Right.
Yeah.
But he had a show.
Yeah.
And on the show they say Cleveland rocks.
Yeah. Edit that out.
Why? Perfect.
Okay, so usually at the end of my episodes I try to drop a gem.
Okay.
Because you know my name is Jewels.
I love that.
Jewels Gems.
You should have little jewels and dropping gems.
I'm gonna drop one on purpose or on accident. Like it's gonna be like, oops, that was a gem.
I like that. You should do that throughout the show, but then at the end you're just like, yeah, you got these gems.
If saying your piece isn't going to bring you peace, then it doesn't deserve a piece of your time. That's what she said. That friend's so wise. Oh my God, it's almost like I need to get her on this show. That is not the only gem that my friend has dropped for me, but she is also sharing and creating lessons for the little ones. Khadijah, you want to talk about your book?
Absolutely.
Your books.
Absolutely. So, as you guys know, I'm Khadijah Fair. I have authored 2 books, 2 children's books. The first one is Oh Khalil and the Color Black Bandit. The second one is here, Oh Khalil versus Kindergarten Chaos. And this book it was so much fun to write. This book is about a group of friends. Khalil and his friends talk about their experience going into kindergarten. So they're actually going into the 1st grade and they're reminiscing on going into kindergarten the year before. And every year the town of Oville goes into complete chaos, which they call kindergarten chaos. The parents go into chaos, the teachers go into complete chaos, the students go into chaos. And in order to get the town of Oville out of kindergarten chaos, Khalil and his friends help each group out. And they do that by answering questions from the teachers, showing love and appreciation to their parents. And with the kids, the little humans, they say a nonsense word, a magical phrase, because remember, they're going into kindergarten. They make no sense.
It makes no sense. It's chaos.
It's complete chaos. So grab your Oh Khalil book. You can grab it at ohkhalil.com. You can get it from Amazon, Target, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, and you can follow us on Instagram at Oh Khalil Books, and you can follow me personally at Katie Fair, KHADIFAIR.
So thank you everyone for tuning in to this episode of Calm Convos, and thank you Khadijah for giving a piece of your time to us. I really appreciate you. I value you. I love you. I see you as a very beautiful, special person.
Not an Oompa Loompa.
Pepper Ann.
I I take it.
Not full.
I appreciate
They short and they hair is orange.
it. Is it green or is it orange?
They face is green.
Oh,
No, their face is orange. Their hair is green.
okay.
That's not you. Anyway. Make sure that you follow the podcast at Calm Convos Podcast on Instagram, and also check us out wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Her literacy. Khadijah gonna have to help me read. I can't read. Okay. Her